My name is Anthony McCrae, and today I'm going to teach you basic airbrushing techniques. And I already went through the steps of actually setting it up, so I'm just going to explain what each part is. This is your propel can, which is, in other words, your air can that applies pressure. And this is your tube that the air falls out of, and the tube is connected to the can as well as it is connected to the pen, and this is the paint. And this little nozzle on top of our can is what applies the pressure. When you screw it down, you can kind of hear that slight hiss. That means the can is applying, air pressure is escaping. Okay. So before we get started, we're going to use stencils because actually freehanding is a little advanced for this first course. And the stencils with this, we're going to use just a basic tiger. We only want this section, so what we're going to do is we're going to section all of the rest of these off so they don't get any kind of paint on them and we don't paint anywhere else on our shirt. I already took pieces of scratch paper and cut out the shape that I wanted, and I put tape on it so that when I lay it over, it actually stays in place. So it doesn't get paint all over my stencil nor anywhere else within a stencil onto my shirt. And I do the same for the top part. Alright. And it should look a little something like this. Okay. Now remember, before you start any painting is to make sure that you have a regular shirt, and if it's cotton then you need to wash it and follow the dry instructions or the paint won't take to the fabric. And also take like a board, like it could be wood or cardboard, and make sure that you stretch the shirt out over it. The tighter the stretch, the neater and more professional the airbrush looks. Since I already have you stretched out some, I'm going to have to fix you up. Okay. Alright, now be nice now. I'm going to need you. Yeah, okay. So we're going to take our stencil now, and we're going to place it directly up here because I kind of want it right here. We're going to make us a fake little puma. And right, we're going to take some tape and also tape the stencil down so that it doesn't move and none of the paint actually seeps through. That's down. Now we're fine. Okay. Now I'm going to apply the pressure to my can. I'm also going to, adjust my nozzle. Now remember, the farther up your nozzle, the finer the line and the quality you make. But since we're doing an entire patch, we're going to make it farther away. The farthest it is from the tip, the wider the spray. Okay. And we're going to press this little button up here. And, technically there is no exact measurement as to what space you should have it on, as to how far it should be away from the work. Just eyeball it. What I do is about 2-3 inches away. Shake it up. And we are going to press this button up here and the paint is going to fly. And remember, when you're actually using a stencil, stay around the edges. That's all you really have to do is once you work around the edge, and then fill in with a lighter layer of paint on the inside. That will create a 3D effect. And what I would do for this is I would actually allow the paint to dry. and we're going to use the term called cure. And cure means to let it dry so that you can apply another layer later. But for right now, this is actually pretty perfect, and I can actually show you what it looks like without the stencil. Make sure you don't get any paint on you because you're my favorite desk. See? And you see how it's darker right here at the top, and then down here we have a lighter gradient, and it creates that effect like it's actually in the move. And when it comes to airbrushing, since it's acrylic based, it doesn't really take long for it to actually, stick or to dry. And to make sure that it stays a little bit more permanent, what I would do is, once it dries, I would take it out and I would iron over it onto wax paper. Like, turn it inside out and have some wax paper around the pattern that you pretty much, painted, and you iron over it. And that, it cements the paint into the fabric even more so. When you're actually cleaning your pen, because each and every time you use a different color, you have to consistently change. You have to consistently clean. You have to consistently clean your nozzle. And what I use is what came with my kit, which is ready to use cleaner. You can also use water or paint thinner, and you spray it out of the can until nothing else appears onto it. So we're going to use a little of this. Excuse me, for some reason. Okay. And that's pretty much all we need for that part. We don't need no more than that. I'm a little messy and I'm kind of a clumsy oaf. I'm going to take you down. Yep, take you out. So we're going to clean you later as well. And we're going to take this and put you into here. Now what's in here, we just spray it. And we're just going to spray until we no longer see a color. And also what you can do is what I usually do, is add a little water as well. Okay. Let me screw this back on. Because most of the paint is actually what's coming from the nozzle and not the actual, pen itself. It's coming from the inside. And we just spray until we no longer see it. And as you can see, there's nothing coming out anymore but water. You don't see any yellow tints anymore. We gotta show you that on paper. See? It's a slight yellow tint when you put it up against the paper. So we'll keep spraying until we get nothing. But I also think that the yellow is coming from, the paint itself, because it kind of combined with the water. So just remember to always keep emptying out it and refreshing over and over again. So this concludes my tutorial. If you have any questions, email them to me. They will surely appear at the end of this video starting now.